Right, let's move on to United, lads. Let's move on to United. So, they drew today to Southampton. Let's
Mm,
start with the red card, lads. Do you think it was a red card? Because there's debate that it was a bit harsh.
mm.
What's your views on it?
My take on it is 100%. They got it right. That's where VAR. So yes, he got the ball, but the force and the follow through, that's for me a red card, 100%.
Mm.
Don't know what you guys think, but he took the man out.
Yeah, I'm just watching the red card again. I'm just on Twitter. I just want to sort of see it again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's one of those where you're not complaining if it's like if it's against you, but if it was for your team, it's one of those where you'd be fuming at in a way. I think it's one of those weird ones where do you know where sometimes you get penalty decisions given against you where it's like, oh, okay, I can understand from the other team's point of view, they'd want a penalty, but if it was given against me, then I'd be fuming. It's one of those ones, but yeah, it's a bit stupid of Casemiro to sort of give the opportunity to get sent off by lifting his studs that high. And like you said, Sully, that he got the ball first, didn't he? Then he went with the follow through, and then
yeah,
nowadays that's a red card offense, I guess. But yeah, it definitely falls under the category of oh, if it was for me, if it was for yourself like Fabinho or for Josh, say if it was Hoiberg and for myself if that was Enzo, then I think we'd be fuming at that at that as a red card. I
Do
think
you
it's one
think
of
there's
those.
method? Do you think there's logic in the thinking that if you win the ball but you catch the man, then it's a foul? Because some would argue could end a footballer's career. Others would argue you won the ball. Why is that being taken out of the game?
There's such a great area to it. It's just like you you're either going to do one or the other. I guess it's like if you want to go challenge for the ball, you're going to have to get some of the man in a way. Like it's
yeah,
just impossible to not have any contact. So
yeah.
yeah,
But
it's a massive grey area. Yeah.
in this specific incident, it's just the way he slid in with studs up. Yes, he won the ball, but he caught his ankle, and that could have broken his ankle. So the referee at the time gave a yellow card, and then the VAR referee that they reviewed it, they got the advantage of of using VAR properly, and I think they came to the correct decision because that could have seriously injured that player potentially. You know.
It's all right.
Is it?
No Man United fans, so we can say yeah, we're happy about
I
it.
Oh
was
no,
gonna
exactly.
say.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I was gonna say with no United fans on here at the moment because G's decided not to come on. He had some stuff going on, but
yeah.
are United being found out now? Do you think that Rashford super hot clinical form, everything going their way, De Gea making all those world class saves? Do you think that United will get back to that form, or do you think that the average players they've got, we can see here, the likes of Varane, the likes of Sancho being hot and cold. We've got Anthony there again, struggling to find form, doing it in Europe, which is great. Well, a really good goal in the midweek, but not being able to do it in the Premier League consistently. Do you think their kind of peak is coming to an end, or do you think that United are the real deal and they'll get back to what they were?
I think it's definitely a blip at the moment with sort of the points that were dropped. Like obviously in the league domestically, they've dropped. They've only got 1 point out of what six, isn't it? So obviously losing to Liverpool last week, winning midweek, but they look at their fixtures. They've got Betis away, and then they've got Fulham in the FA Cup at home, and then they've got Newcastle away. So on paper, that's like I think the cup competitions I fully expect them to go through. I think Europa League they're like 4-1 up, so I think that's a proper chilled one for them. Fulham at home will be tough, obviously, but I think Man United will get through that. Then look at the fixtures there; it's two tough Premier League fixtures, so they could be looking in the league with no wins and fourth if they do slip up against Newcastle and Brentford, who have shown this season they've been good. So yeah, I think it's just a blip for them at the moment, but I think the true identity and the true sort of colours will show. I think after the Brentford game whether this is a blip or a crisis for Man United.
Yeah, without Casemiro, there's definitely going to be an impact
He,
on the team. Sully, do you think without their best midfielder, this is a chance for Liverpool and Spurs and Newcastle to drag them into a top four race? whilst they're
I
sitting
think,
in third.
yeah, no, I think they will. It will impact them for sure. Um, I think they will drop points, but I think in the end that they'll just about secure the third position, because the other teams below them, the Spurs, the Chelseas, the Liverpools, the Brightons, if you add their games in hand right, they're dropping points. There's a lack of consistency, so it'll be interesting. But I think in the end, United will come through. I actually think they will probably win another trophy, whether it's the FA Cup or the Europa. And
Yeah,
given
same.
given where they were the previous few seasons, right? Um, it's probably going to be a great first season for Ten Hag. You got to say, I mean, to be fair, they have spent nearly 250 million over the summer, so you can't complain. He never got the back in, and he's probably going to get further back in of an equivalent amount this summer as well, especially with a striker they got.
From
They want to
Qataris
buy.
maybe as well if they get their ownership stuff
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Well, that's another developing story, isn't it? I think their owners have been a bit smart with that one. Whether
Mm.
they go for a full sale or not, it looks a little bit off at the moment. I think that they might take minority investment and keep the majority, because United is a cash cow, right? They've been bleeding it dry, literally. They haven't put any of their own money in, other than 200 million at the beginning. So. Um, but yeah, I think in the end, United will probably just about scrape third. Not scrape. They'll probably secure the third position, because the teams below them, it's so you win at home, then you lose away. It's a bit of a yo-yo thing. So it's tricky. If Liverpool had won the game against Bournemouth, which obviously in hindsight we didn't, um, we might have reeled them in, because they would have dropped. And today I saw the highlights today. Southampton played well. Yes, they had their mad advantage. Walcott should have scored with a header when it was still 11 versus 11. Either side, it would have been a goal. That Peters player hit the post. Ward Prowse. We know what he can do with a dead ball specialist. So, but then again, Bruno Fernandes hit the post as well. So, but yeah, in the end, I think United will probably secure third position.
Is there a risk for Casemiro getting the armband? Who should get the armband at United? Because that's been a debate this week. Does Bruno get it? Is he the leader in that pitch? I think the defender, the Argentinian defender, Martinez, is probably the one maybe that has the leadership skills. There's been debate all week on radio that is
Yeah.
Bruno a flat track bully, or is he the future United captain? What's your views on that, lads?
It's hard with Bruno Fernandes. Like, he's a good player. I think he hasn't really progressed since the first season, where he was hitting the goals and the assists, and with Ronaldo coming in and kind of disrupted his flow a little bit. I think he's a very temperamental player. When it's not going his way, he's waving his arms, he's moaning, and he's not being a captain and a leader. Who can it be going forward? Yeah, I think Martinez is a good shout. De Gea, not too sure. In the middle, Casemiro is probably a good shout. I mean, he's a quality player. It depends who they buy in the summer as well. If they go out and get Frankie De Jong from Barcelona, is he captain material?
What
Not
about
too sure.
Rashford?
You need a talker. I think as a captain, you need to be a talker and vocal. You don't have to be the greatest player in the world, but Jordan Henderson in the time that he's been at Liverpool and a captain, he's a talker and he organises people, and you can hear him on the pitch. I don't know if they've got anyone like that within the United ranks at the moment. So maybe
Luke Shaw, maybe.
Fernandes for now is the right person, because that's probably the best they've got in terms of captain material. But it depends who they buy going forward. I think Rashford, he's very quiet, and he's hot on cold as well. Yeah, this season is hot, but he's 24, 25 now. So, but if you look at his previous seasons, his stats he's a streaky player, but this season he's been much more consistent. He needs to do, people say, oh, can he be compared to the likes of Salah and whatnot? No chance. He's got to do it for the next 4 or 5 seasons, consistently 20 goals a season. Then you can say, do you know what? He is a real deal. But yeah, this season he's done really well. But if you want to put him up there with the Kanes and the Salahs, you got to do it season in, season out.